In this video with this technique, I can show you how to take a cash discount deal, even if they're only passing on a 2% fee. Let's roll it to 2.0 and bring it back to the full profitability at 4%. In this video, let's get into it, and I'm gonna show you how. It's critical to know that once you know what the big domino is, then focus on pushing that one over. The rest will fall with it automatically. This is how objections work. This is why you need to master rebuttals. When you find out what someone's biggest objection is, if you're really good at rebuttals, you can push it over, and the rest become easier and will fall with it. That's what I want to talk about in this video. We want to talk about what the big domino is. What is the number one reason merchants hesitate to begin with about doing the cash discount program? What was their biggest concern? I want you to think about this. I'm not going to rush this video. It is super important. When you're selling traditional cash discounting, what is it that people hesitate about? What is the merchant's big domino and biggest concern to get on cash discounting to begin with? Understanding their concerns is so important, and you'll hear me train a lot on this, is kill their objections. But more importantly, know their objections ahead of time and kill it before they even say it. So let's identify what that biggest objection was to begin with when it came to them signing up for cash discounting. We all know what the answer is. Have you figured it out? They don't want to scare away their customers. This was the big domino that you've had to overcome, or any salesperson out there has had to overcome in order to get someone to do traditional cash discounting. That business owner at one point had a concern that, is this going to scare away customers, right? And what exactly was it? Why did they think customers would be scared away? At what point in your pitches do customers start getting turned off by traditional cash discounting? When you've pitched somebody about cash discounting and they love the savings, they're going with your pitch, they like what they're hearing, they want to save all that money, and then all of a sudden they get turned off. What point in your pitch does that happen? I want you to use your head on this lesson. I don't want to just give you the answer. Do you know it? It's when they see or hear about putting up signage that tells their customers about some sort of additional cost for non-cash payments. Everybody wants to save money. When you walk in and say, hey, I can get rid of those processing fees, who wouldn't want to do that? And then they realize, how does this work? Or maybe they don't ask, but you get far enough in your pitch, you start explaining, here's how this works. It's really easy. We put a sticker up that says XYZ. Then they realize, aha, I can't do that. That will scare away my customers. And what that means for us to convert them is they would prefer to not have the signage in order to eliminate their processing fees. I think it is a completely fair guess to say they were most likely hesitant to begin with when they signed up on traditional cash discounting. What were they hesitant about? Putting up the signage. That means that is our big domino. That is what we need to talk about and go after in order to convert them. And I want to clarify, I am a huge advocate of cash discounting in both forms. What I am not an advocate of is selling against traditional cash discounting with price. If somebody's on traditional cash discounting at 4%, what we do not want to do as an industry is come in and say, oh, you're doing it for 4%? We'll do it for 3%. And then the next person comes and does it for 2.5%. And then we're killing the profits of this amazing program across the whole industry. Instead of selling that way, let's convert the 1.0 deals over to 2.0. That's critically important because we're going to keep the profits high. If I walk into a merchant and they're paying 2.99% because some other company only sold on price, I'm going to be able to walk in and bring that business back up to a 4% profitability, and show them how they can take their sign down and keep the savings of the cash discount program. I am not going to be in the race to the bottom, and I want to teach you not to be either. Keep the profits high, convert them to 2.0. So let's work it in reverse. Let's ask them questions that we already know stem off of how they felt originally. Has anyone ever said anything about this extra charge? What do you tell them if they ever bring it up? Is there any benefit to that sign if you don't need it to keep the savings? If it wasn't needed, would you actually have it up? What was their biggest concern? It was losing customers. So let's talk about it.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's just no real way to calculate if any customers have stopped coming or if it offended anybody, basically. And we understand it's not going to be enough customers where it's not worth doing the program. We're not suggesting not doing it. But if you could keep the savings and you didn't have to have that sign up, obviously you would prefer to do it that way, right? At the end of the day, removing the sign can only increase the odds of offending somebody 0%. It puts you right back to where you were before you ever put that sign up, where that was not even a thought. It was never a concern. So I'd like to just help you get back to that point where you knew there was nothing on your door that could have an even 1% chance of scaring a customer away. So all I'm saying is removing the signage could only serve as a benefit versus risking offending, even if it's one customer. You agree?
Well, of course, I wouldn't have the sign up if I didn't have to. Bingo. That's when we talk to them about 2.0 and show them exactly how that's possible. But first, we've got to get them to acknowledge what that big domino is and start pushing it over with us. Think about this. You're bringing them back to that feeling when they first signed up and they were scared of losing customers. Now they've realized I didn't lose a lot of customers. If they were losing a bunch of customers, obviously they wouldn't be doing the program. We all sell traditional cash discounting. We know it doesn't scare away all their customers, but we can't say it's never scared one away either. So if there's a way that they can keep those savings without that signage, let's bring that original concern back and get rid of the concern, but give them the reward that they've already tasted. That's what the approach is about. It's not about saying you're losing all your customers. We sell that, we know that that's not true, but it is fair to say that maybe one or two didn't like it, and maybe, or maybe not, they didn't come back. I don't know. It's not calculatable, but we can both agree that by that sign not being there, we know for a fact that that can't happen. And you get to keep the savings. Let's take that route. That's how you sell 2.0 to a traditional cash discount deal.